Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. As always, I got the Masters crew with me. We even got the Doc back in the building this weekend. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Glad to have a full house here. Right before we jump into this, if you're looking for a place to play redraft or dynasty football, we got them both. Over 600 dynasty leagues. We've never folded a single one. Currently running redrafts every single night of the week, all the way till kickoff. With that said, let's jump into today's episode. Going to be doing the Dynasty Trade Player Spotlight. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Miles Sanders. And obviously, I didn't even pick Miles Sanders. The trades just flew in for Miles Sanders all week. I got 5 recent trades. I think every one of these happens this week. Me and the guys are going to jump in here, take a look at them, tell you what we think about them. With that said, let's jump into it. First trade popping up on your screen. Pretty simple trade here. Got Melvin Gordon, the first and the second for Miles Sanders. Your guys' thoughts?
Go ahead, Al.
All right, so Miles Sanders is one of those guys. I feel like he's kind of getting a little controversial and a little hot takey because he's a guy. A lot of us were super pumped about him when he came out, and really he's been a little disappointing since. I know we still I think relatively high of him here, the Doc and I at least. I think based on the last Miles Sanders discussion we had, but since then I'm starting to worry a little bit. However, this time of year I really don't mind trading those future picks. Get somebody that can help you compete this year, because if he goes out and has a decent year, you could easily flip him for, a mid-first back in 2022 anyways. So I think it's a good move to get a guy who can help you compete this year. And, yeah, obviously with Javonte Williams, we think Melvin Gordon's workload is going to take a huge hit. So I'll stick with the Miles Sanders side here.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Miles Sanders, like Alex mentioned, I'm pretty big on Miles Sanders. I think he's flashed elite stuff here and there. It's just been a matter of consistency for him. So I have faith in him going forward, even though, I don't really love the situation in Philly right now. But, I think this is a pretty classic trade. A couple of future picks, and then Melvin Gordon, who's, I don't think it's a hot take for me to say he's probably done. I think that's fair enough to say. I think, maybe he catches on to a team like a guy like a Shady McCoy or Le'Veon Bell with the Chiefs, something like that, where he just plays, sparingly. But I think this is the end of Melvin Gordon as a legit, start-worthy running back in fantasy football. So I love it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I feel like we spoke about Melvin Gordon over the last 5 years way more than we should have.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Just never really quite lived up to the hype. Yeah. Had that one good year. And I actually want to take the other side of the trade because I'm not that big on Miles Sanders. But just with Melvin Gordon, I don't think I could. I would at least give Miles a shot to see what he can do this season.
Right.
All right, next trade popping up here. And I think some of these trades are reflective, too, of, Miles Sanders' declining value.
Right. Yeah.
And even looking at this trade here, Miles Sanders in a 3. And I love Cortland Sutton, just saying, typically a running back brings a little bit more.
Exactly.
For Cortland Sutton in the 2.6, your guys' thoughts?
Like you said, I would like to get more for a guy like Miles Sanders. He is only going into – it's only year 3 for him, right? That's crazy. And Sutton coming off a big knee injury. I like Sutton a lot, but there are still a lot of mouths in Denver as well. So, for me, I'm going to take Miles Sanders, a guy that could possibly catapult himself into, that Tier 1 running back level. But, Sutton – it's going to be tougher for him to get back to like a legit wide receiver 1, just with the mouths to feed on that team.
Yeah, I agree with these guys. Sutton's a guy I like a lot, bounce back. I like the 2.6 as well. But just that positional value that Miles Sanders has, where there's going to be a lot of guys who's kind of in that same tier as a Cortland Sutton, where if Miles Sanders hits this year, he's still a young, up-and-coming running back where he could still, have his value catapult, where Cortland Sutton definitely could rise up dynasty rankings with a nice year here, but not the same kind of upside as a guy like Miles Sanders has.
Yeah, and I'm just going to jump into the next trade here, too, because I just think all this shows the declining value here on Miles Sanders. And I think what I'm passing along to you guys, hey, man, go out and make some trades here.
Some feelers for Miles Sanders.
Yeah, wait a second.
Absolutely. So here we got Tony Pollard in the 2 pick for Miles Sanders in the 4 pick. So I was sitting there looking at it like, all of a sudden Miles Sanders is becoming a guy, that you're using kind of to dangle just to move up a couple spots in the draft. Although I will say I love the 1 and the 2 pick.
Yeah.
Agreed.
This year.
Yeah. So for me, I feel real strong about this one because I've said it a lot on our we have that 1.1 show where we were evaluating 1.1 trades, and I was saying really this year, for me, it's a big 4. I feel good about 4 prospects a lot. I mean, I like, obviously my top 1 or 2 better than my 4th prospect, but basically you could get Miles Sanders and potentially your 1.1, based on if that guy falls to the 1.4, just to move back a couple spots. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, especially if you really want a guy and you want to move up to number 2. I get it. Totally understand that. Like, for me, I could see me giving too much to go up and get, like, Jamar Chase if I knew he was going to be there, too. But, yeah, like Alex said, I mean, it's hard to pass up Miles Sanders in the 1.4. And as much as I like Chase, I mean, I feel like you could get someone at 1.4 with a lot of value as well. So I'm going to go with Sanders. I can't believe that trade.
Yeah, and I'm with you guys, too. I will say, though, if I knew I was getting Chase at the 2, if I look at Tony Pollard, Jamar Chase over Sanders and ETN, I think long-term I'd probably like the Chase side. Oh.
Maybe. Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to really – or even Pitts. I mean, if you really believe in one of those guys. All right, next trade here popping up. This one got a little bit more value out of Miles Sanders. We got Miles Sanders, Odell Beckham, the 1.12, the 3.12 for A.J. Brown, Josh Reynolds. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's probably enough. I think I'd probably ship him out for that too. AJ Brown's a guy that's going to be like a consistent, barring, health, which has been an issue for him a little bit. I think AJ Brown's probably going to be in the top 5 of most people's dynasty receiver rankings, or at least top 10 for sure. But he's one of those guys like in that DK range where they have a ton of value. So, as much as I love Miles Sanders, Odell's best years are behind him. Those picks don't really have a ton of value to me, so I'm going with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, as always, I kind of completely agree with the doc. A.J. Brown's a guy where I wasn't super – so it's weird. I loved him coming out of college, but then even after, like, the rookie year, I just didn't love the situation in Tennessee, and, like, I just kind of dismissed him because of it. But now I'm starting to buy all over it, even with Julio there. A.J. Brown's just, like, climbing up, getting close to my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. Like, he's top 3, I think, Dynasty receivers for me right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the A.J. Brown side.
Yeah, John Beast caught me sleeping on that trade a couple of years ago.
It's
When my
crazy.
team was really good, I had A.J. Brown for his rookie year, and he offered me Nick Chubb for A.J. Brown straight up. And I was like, I don't really need A.J. Brown. He's a rookie. He plays for Tennessee. I'll take Nick Chubb. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Now I'm hurting at receiver,
when you guys
too,
made that
so.
trade, I was pissed because Ryan's team was loaded, and I thought, oh, man, Ryan's team just got better. But now, your team would be a lot better if you held on to A.J. Brown. But, which is another reason, too. We value these trades. I know people get mad, when stuff happens. It just shows a couple of years, and these trades change so much.
So quickly.
We don't, nobody knows what's going to happen.
I
in
could
2
go
years.
through like just my trades with John Beast and have like both sides of that.
Yeah.
Where like I was either really mad and then it ended up like not mattering, or
Yeah.
I was really happy with it and ended up biting me in the butt.
And it can flip like year to
Oh,
year.
yeah.
So I was thinking, like,
it's crazy.
sometimes I'm mad, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, like I gave I think it was Dante Moncrief. I gave him to John Beast when he was a rookie, and he had like a good rookie year. So I was like, oh, I can't believe I just gave up a rookie receiver. And now, I mean, that was the only good year he had. So
Feed them.
yeah, feed
And
Moncrief.
I will say this, and I'm just going to point out his declining value again on this trade, because I don't, and I like A.J. Brown too, not quite as much as these guys, but I don't think, like, if you consider Miles Sanders a guy that can be a top 5 back or something like that, I think that's enough for A.J. Brown in most situations. Like anybody else
Right.
that you would slot in as a potential top 5 back.
Agreed.
So I mean, the fact that he had to add Odell and a 1
Yeah.
kind of speaks volumes there
Yeah.
to me.
Agreed. I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then the final trade, kind of another similar trade.
Ooh.
We got Miles
Ooh.
Sanders, Kenny Galladay for DK Metcalf. Your guys' thoughts on this one?
DK.
Yeah. I mean, Keyshawn Vaughn's value is like -7, but DK Metcalf, is clearly the most valuable in the trade. We've talked about Galladay too being a little older and not, maybe not being in the best situation either. So I think that's probably enough for me to take DK in that as well. Yeah.
I think more for me on this one, I'm looking at it as like a smart trade, man.
Yeah,
Go
this is
take whatever
solid.
value Kenny Galladay has left.
Yeah.
And Miles Sanders, package him for what should be an elite wide receiver for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, truth is, man, even in drafts, I mean, there's some people that still believe in Kenny Galladay and Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
So go out there and look for him. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Player Spotlight on Miles Sanders. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Good stuff.